Wee! Kick us off, little liquid death doggy over there.
Yes, with my rest in peach. I love it. I want to make sure that they know that we appreciate this.
Did they send it or did you buy it? You bought it today, didn't you?
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Father Knows Something.
Yeah.
We have our co-hosts, Morgan and Justin.
Yep.
Justonian.
Sir Justonian.
Sir.
Oh, you got
If you don't remember,
upgraded.
I've been knighted.
You have been knighted with the... Where is my my propeller? She took it away from
It's
me.
gone.
Apparently, we're going to have a great theme today. Apparently, it's about red flags. Notice the red flags. Don't turn your back on them. No. Notice them, face them, and deal with them right up front. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So we're going to kick it off. Let's go. Rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Story number 1.
Love Jerry's dadvice and the way you all bring different perspectives on some tough situations. So maybe you can help me out too. I've got the ick, and I don't think I can shake it. My boyfriend is in charge of managing our finances. He recently made a comment about how he didn't know where he was going to get the rent money. This was after the check was due. I exclaimed, quote, "What happened to all of the money in our joint account?" He acted mystified at the idea of using that money to pay the rent. I thought I made it clear when I insisted on us getting a joint account that it was for mutual expenses. It gives me a major ick that he didn't mention the rent until it was past due and that he didn't think to use our joint funds. Ideal outcome, get a partner who is willing to discuss finances, even if I have to start over with someone else. Additional info, we are in our 40s. I'm getting too old to be financially insecure because someone else is afraid of tough conversations. What do I do?
I think that you just have to have a conversation point blank and say, this is, we're grown-ups. This is what we do. This is how we're going to conduct our lives. Are you on board? Simple. He'll either say, yes, he's on board, or no, he's not on board.
Yeah, it seems like I'm curious, how have we been paying the rent up until now?
That's
What's
what I'd
the
like to-
process
yeah.
been? And then B, it seems like this is kind of the straw that broke the camel's back in the sense that,
Yeah.
I don't think this is a one-off issue. It seems like, yeah, you're tired of this financial thing, but that's not something that would happen with Morgan and I, where I'd be like, I'd be open to trying it with a new partner. So it seems like we're already kind of at that point, and this is just adding on to the, list of whatever it is pushing you there.
Already a bit emotionally, mentally checked out.
Is there an update? No.
No?
So we don't know if she'd actually even sat down with him and said, are we going to formulate how we're going to conduct ourselves and where money is going, coming? I mean, they're not even married.
No.
And they're playing this, couple that looks like they're going to conduct the rest of their lives this way.
I think it's okay, though, to have a joint account if you're dating. I think that's actually really, really healthy to do. I think it really sets your relationship up for success. Now, do I think you need a joint account with someone that you've been dating for 3 months? No.
Right.
But after a year, if you want to say, hey, we're going out to dinner and we're buying groceries and we're doing all these things together, why don't we each put $100 a month in a joint account, and that's our date money, that's our blah, blah, blah money. And as you move in together, obviously that could go up, $500 a month each or $1,000 a month.
Well, it certainly makes
each.
things easier. It really does.
I think it makes the relationship more balanced too. Like you're both contributing, you both
Equally.
have
Boom.
money at stake, I think it's a good thing to do.
Well, and at whatever split you determine. Like that's what you can determine, whatever fits for you.
Yeah.
But it does add a simplicity, and it helps avoid anyone from feeling that there's any unfairness
Yeah.
or that you're being taken advantage of, or, the financial stuff can lead into so many other areas, and then all of a sudden it blows up in this big thing. But that's an easy way to help prevent that.
Yeah. And I would, if this has been a repeated problem, check out. This is, the red flag is too big and move on. But if you've never brought up the conversation of like, hey, let's talk finances. Let's have a budget meeting. Let's talk about our joint account. Let's also make a plan for rent, because having it be past due and then you communicating that to me isn't acceptable. You're going to be responsible for the late fees if you let that happen again. Have a conversation.
Well, and having that conversation is what a team would do.
Yeah.
But if we're not necessarily a team anymore, then
Yeah, you're flying solo, dude. You're flying solo.
Mm-hmm. That's not fun.
No.
No.
Okay. Jinx.
Moving along.
I didn't say your full name yet. You're still
What?
jinxed.
Oh, I thought you just had to buy the other
owe 'em a
person a
Coke.
soda.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Really?
Yeah, and then I buy you a pop.
Oh, I always thought it was that you just can't talk until I release you by saying
No.
your
that
full
might
name.
be the old school
Oh,
version.
yeah, no, I just have to buy you a pop.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I don't drink pop.
You drink iced tea, and I got you a dead billionaire last night. So
Boom.
Boom.
I'm off
The
the
debt
hook.
was paid in the past.
Yeah,
Pay it forward.
yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2. Hello, Father Knows and THT fam. I've been listening to both podcasts, and I must say thank you for not only keeping me company during daily tasks, but also teaching me some wisdom and sharing your advice. I will try to keep this as short as possible. I, female 23, have been with my boyfriend, male 29, for 2.5 years. 3 years ago, I went to Italy for a few days and met a really cute guy at a cafe. This is relevant, I promise. He was sitting at a table right in front of ours. Nothing really happened. He saw me looking at him and smiled at me. I smiled back, and that was it. I will admit, I felt butterflies when I saw him looking back at me, and I did remember him as time passed, just as a nice memory from the trip, I guess. Later on that day, I saw that you could see him in a few pictures I took of my mother, since he was right behind her. That same day, I was telling my best friend about this cute interaction, and I cropped and sent her one of the pictures. I kept it and then just forgot about it. Yesterday, I was showing pictures from that Italy trip to my boyfriend, since we were talking about it, and as I was scrolling, the picture of the guy came up. He asked me who that was, and I explained the situation as I'm telling it to you, and he blew up at me, asking why I'm keeping pictures of ex-flings and how I, quote, still have feelings for that guy. Now he is mad and refusing to talk to me. I can't help but feel like he is overreacting. I never even knew this guy, but at the same time, I don't want to invalidate his feelings. Any advice would be helpful, but I guess I mostly want to know if I made a mistake by keeping the picture, so I'm kind of asking you, am I wrong? Am I the asshole?
It was part of your trip. I have pictures of people all over the place, part of my trip. But the fact is that he really gave you butterflies. There was a significant value that you see in that. And that's the thing that's really interesting to look at. What do you do about it? Do you do nothing about it?
But like, it was one of those things probably just kind of forgot about in the camera roll. This was 3 years ago. She's been dating this boyfriend now for 2.5 years.
And by the way, it was not a former boyfriend of hers. It was
a stranger that smiled at her on the street.
Right.
Invalidate his feelings because he's being a nut. An absolute insecure, controlling goofball. Red flags, red flags, red flags, red flags. The fact that you feel bad and you're asking if you're the asshole is very concerning to me. I'm getting how many other things is he making you feel bad about that are just genuinely not an issue, shouldn't be an issue, and wouldn't be an issue with someone who was secure in themselves and not controlling.
This goes back to my same where I was going. The fact that she kept that picture, that maybe there's something missing from her relationship also.
Maybe.
I mean, he's obviously picking up in his radar. There's something that was amiss with this thing that's triggered him to be insecure.
I feel like it's a wider character thing because I feel like this is the type of guy who is very obsessed with, oh, who were you with in the past? And, do you still talk to them? Or what was your relationship like? How many people have you been with? It's that kind of guy.
If that's the case, then absolutely you're not the asshole and he has no basis. The one thing that stuck in my mind is really how you were attracted to this individual. And I'm wondering if that got bumped at that point in time where it triggered something. If it didn't, and it's nothing at this point in time, then you're not the asshole. It's just him being insecure. But
I think like we've all been there though. I think I wouldn't give that too much more thought. You're on vacation. You see a cute guy. It's the Lizzie McGuire movie dream that everyone wants. I mean, how many times have we gone shopping and you're chatting with a lady in the store and we walk out and you go, how old do you think she was? That's my type.
Right, but I wasn't in a relationship.
She wasn't in a relationship.
Oh, I misunderstood something. You are not an asshole. It was part of your trip. End of story.
He was behind your mom as you were taking pictures and you happen to notice.
I have pictures all over my phone of people that were in my life at one point in time. And it's part of the history of my life. It means nothing to who's going to come in my life and anybody else I want in my life.
I mean, I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. She still has pictures of an ex on her social media. And she's like, well, it's so far back and I really liked the trip and the picture. I look great. So no, I don't want to delete it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm obviously done. I'm dating someone else, but it doesn't matter. I'm clearly not with that person for a reason.
Right.
So we do have a little bit more info.
Mm-hmm.
I've never given my boyfriend any reason to be jealous or insecure about me and other guys. Quite the opposite, actually. He has had a suspiciously close relationship with a coworker that was overstepping boundaries. After months of me begging him, he ended it. This is both his and my first relationship.
So maybe he was just projecting. That's all. He was projecting his behavior and what he was seeing upon her. If I have these feelings, she has these feelings, and she has had none of the above.
Well, and it is pretty characteristic of a first relationship. I guess I'm opening my mind now to think maybe guys who haven't had relationships prior maybe they've built that, personal maturity or life maturity, but they haven't built that relationship maturity where you haven't had the experience of, there's plenty of people I'm sure that were like this to their first partner because you don't know. I mean, yeah, you should have an innate sense of you don't want to be over controlling and like that to anybody. But I know people that have tended to have that in their early relationships as overly suspicious and, kind of looking for reasons to catch them because they've never trusted someone to this level before. So they're uncomfortable with it.
I would agree with that. My first couple were like that.
And so maybe even at the age of 29, I don't know that if this is your first relationship, maybe you could still have those tendencies, but 29 is still getting up there to be acting this way.
So I really do believe that the thing that we really want is the comfort that we know that when we come home at night, that the person we love is going to be there and loves us. And there's no one else that we feel assured that in our relationship that we like being together and we want to be together.
Yeah.
And, you can't control someone for that. That's something that's a gift. And I think the more that you relax and the more that you just enjoy each other's company and go focus on amusing one another, you'll have take the energy from your jealousy and put it into the positive side. Your relationship will be what you're looking for. It's when you start getting the negative side, worried about who they're talking to, what they're doing, are they with this other person?
That's crazy.
That's where the craziness comes from. And then that just pushes them away because they realize it's about a control thing.
Yeah.
It's not really about the trust and the love.
No, and I will say, you're not the asshole. He is acting very insecure and controlling. if there are other areas where he's doing this, and if he continues to act psychologically toxic, I mean, you have feelings for that guy and an ex-fling.
This is a reach.
It's a reach. It's someone that smiled me on the street. And if he's going to stonewall you and refuse to talk to you in order to punish you, this is not your person and you need to run. This is breakup worthy in itself right here. This, just so you know. This is not acceptable behavior from a partner.
Yeah, and I really think that you named the right expression, being your person. Because your person won't behave that way.
No, I'm pretty sure up until like a year ago, I might have had pictures of an ex on my Instagram. Like, Justin's never cared. Justin would never, I could talk to someone. I could get a drink from a guy at the bar. And Justin would be like, cool, a drink for us.
Well, I try and go get more then.
Justin actually does better getting us free drinks than me. So, do I get mad? No. But keep us posted. I would love to hear an update, how you guys worked through this. Were there other flags? Let us know.
There you go.
Yeah.
One of this week's partners is Haya. Did you know that the traditional children's vitamins are basically just candy in disguise? Filled with 2 teaspoons of sugar, unhealthy chemicals, and other gummy junk that your growing kids should just not eat? Well, that's actually why Haya was created. It is a pediatrician-approved, super-powered, chewable vitamin. Haya is going to fill the gaps in your kids' diets. It's pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies and then supercharged with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamin D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and many others that are going to support their immunity, energy, brain function, mood, concentration, teeth, bones. I mean, you name it. And my favorite part about Haya, it's non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, nut-free, everything you can imagine free. I have tried one of these vitamins myself. They're good. Your kids are going to love them. And they even have kids probiotic and nighttime essentials. We've worked out a special deal with Haya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hayahealth.com/FKS. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to HIYAHEALTH.com/FKS and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults.
We are number 3.
Yeah. Hello, please keep this anonymous. I honestly love your show and all the advice you give, so I decided to share something for advice as well. Me, 24 female, and my partner, 28 male, have been together for 5 years, and so far, it's been absolutely amazing. I want to know if this next part is a red flag that could be harmful to our relationship. A bit of background. We met in 2019 and we've had a lot of ups and downs, but for the past 2 years, it's been amazing. We're talking about getting engaged soon, but this is where the problem comes in. He feels like he hasn't experienced enough other women and wants to go on dates now. We're also fighting a lot about money because he doesn't want to invest money into our relationship, our house, or dates. He'd rather spend it on Tinder Gold and dates with other women.
This is a red flag, or this is a flaming on fire flag? Which one do you call it? I'll let you continue. I'm sorry. I couldn't stop.
Ideal outcome, he buys a ring and fully commits to me. Additional info, our relationship isn't bad. We're happy and we work well together. We support each other with everything. And if I told him if this is what he needs to do to commit, he has to do it. But I do have boundaries. I'm just really scared that this will put our whole life that we've been planning on hold.
I'd say if this is what he needs to experience, let him go experience it, but you go on with your life. And if he decides that he wakes up and he just calls you up and says, hey, I've gotten through it and I want to get back, your answer is, dude, we're just not getting right back into it. We have to start courting again or see, you may not even have the interest at this point in time, but if you do have the interest, you really have to work at it slowly to make sure that it's just not, the grass was greener on the other side and he took one little, dip into somebody and that's what his agenda was. And it didn't work out. Now he's just going to come back and settle for you. That's what you don't want. You want to make sure that he's with you because there is no one else that he would rather be with. So, we call this a timeout, don't we? Or give him space, let him go on, and
This is bigger than timeout.
Break
It's
up.
way bigger.
well, no,
Break
but
up.
he says he wants to buy her a ring.
That's
Her ideal outcome, he buys a ring and fully commits to me.
Right today. Well, no,
Right.
he's not doing that. So
No.
so you got to you got to walk. This guy is definitely torch. It's not a red flag, it's a burning flag. And end it and then go on with your life. And if he decides to wake up and he wants to court you and come back and see if, that's a decision you get to make at that point in time, but today you're done.
I feel really bad for you because I know how devastating it can feel.
Heartbreaking.
The ideal outcome is never going to happen unless he goes out and experiences this. It just won't.
Mhm.
You'll never have full commitment until this, what I call what if,
Mm-hmm.
is figured out. And
It won't stop there, though.
so really, you can't have someone go try and sort this out and wait on the sidelines because it'll never work. The only way I can see a relationship with this person ever working ever again is fully breaking up, fully moving on to the point where you could see him dating other people and it
wouldn't
affects
bother
you
you.
zero. And then at some point in the future, after you've also been on, your own journey, you come back, then maybe. But what I'm reading here is we had some ups and downs. The relationship hasn't been perfect. And now we're faced with this, which is basically a cliff's edge. And we're a train going right for it.
Yeah, perfect
And
example.
The thing is you got to kind of get off. You got to get off the train before it goes off the cliff. Think how refreshing it'll be. You'll find someone that makes you feel this way, but even more so without any thought of wanting to explore elsewhere.
Right. You want
That's not normal.
Your person wants to be with you. Wake up in the morning with you, no one else, no other things going on but you. And anything less than that is a sacrifice. It's a compromise. And you don't compromise on this. This is that. It's not a red flag. We go back to it. That flag is on fire. It's burning down to the pole, and the poles looks like a match in. This is done.
That's where I'm at. I'm sitting here and I'm imagining life. I met your life, right? I met someone at 19. I'm now 24. I've been dating them through the prime. I love this person. We've had ups and downs. Our relationship hasn't been perfect. No relationship ever is. Everyone goes through struggles. But now we're at a point where he's 28 and he feels he hasn't experienced enough other women. What was he doing from the time he was 18 to 23? Were the women before that not enough? Did he not have any? I don't know. But besides the point, I now have this partner I've been with, almost 5 years, and he would rather invest his time and money trying to sleep with other women instead of building a life with me.
I think that says it all.
You gotta walk. You gotta walk. Even if you gave him this hall pass and you said, okay, go experience other women, go sleep with other women, go court and date other women. Go do that. One, how many women is enough for him? Will that number of women ever be enough? Or is this a person that you get married to, have kids with, and 10 years down the line, ask for an open relationship because he's not satisfied with you yet again?
10 years would be shocking.
This isn't love. This isn't a partner. There are some people that can make poly work and really love their open relationships, but it doesn't sound like that's the boat you're in. And I think he needs to go find himself. But this,
By the way,
doesn't seem like a good fit.
And by the way, going out and sleeping with a different person every night, if that's his what he feels he wants to do. Isn't a relationship with these people. It isn't really diving into daily life and existence. And that's where he's got to go be to really appreciate the life that you have. And maybe you're going to go and say, wow, I met this new guy, Bob, and I have a whole new experience of what life is daily than when it was with Jack. And you got to give yourself that shot. If he's willing to walk and play this game and not consider really the value of this relationship, you got no choice, because that's not your person.
No.
And that's what you want. Again, you want the person that wants to wake up with no one else and go to sleep with no one else other than you, because that's where your happiness is with both of you. That's the specialness of it.
Well, and a ring and marriage shouldn't come with this like carrot either. Mm-mm. Let me go sleep with other women. I haven't experienced enough other women yet, and then I'll be ready to settle down. That's not fair. That's not right. Marriage and a life with someone isn't a carrot to dangle.
No, not at all.
So
now you get to go on with your life, and you have new things to explore. And as much as it might seem a life of fear or something that's going to be coming, it's not. It could be great. So enjoy it and find that person.
If that's what you choose to do, but keep us posted. I really wish you the best. And if you do in your heart of hearts think he's your person, I really would go through couples counseling and have some serious conversations before marriage and make sure that you two together and you as a team is enough, because life is hard. To do it with someone you have to worry about wandering on you.
And I'm going to reinforce one thing. The advice that I give or Morgan gives or Justin's only out of our personal experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't mean that we're experts in this, but from as much as life as I have lived, I see nothing else other than take your pause and walk right now. And if you guys join at another time and place, hey, great. But right now, you really just need to let him really realize, who you were, but you need to go realize who you are and go find someone that really appreciates and try other experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were 19. She was 19 when they met, right? She was a puppy.
A puppy.
She was young.
Spring chicken.
She was a spring chicken.
There you go. A puppy.
Well, she's very young, and there's a lot of experience that you can also experience with other people that are, now that you're older and there's been more concrete things in your life, and you've had these other growing experiences as an adult, and not as someone that just came out of high school and first year of college. You're a different woman today than you were as a teenager, because you were a teenager at 19.
Mm-hmm. Keep us posted, though. Be sure to update us. Anyone that we've read your story, if you want to update us, we do have a separate Google form that you fill out. It's easier for us to find, but be sure to update us. And community, this is where you guys really come in and give your takes, because this is a tough one. And I think hearing from other people who have had direct, similar personal experiences could really help. So be sure to write in.
The last little thing is also the past is no reason to stay with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we've been through so much. Oh, they've been my everything. They're my first everything. It's really, where are you at right now? Mm-hmm. Judge it. Yeah, don't judge it based on one wrong thing happens today and I'm mad about it, so relationship's done, because that's no way to be either. But if we see a pattern or a definitive thing like this, assess it for what it is right now, not including all the past.
You can't be with someone based on the potential. Who are they today?
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Agree.
Okay, moving along. Another one of this week's partners is Factor. The days are getting shorter. There's less sun, and I myself have less motivation to do a lot of things, including cooking. I haven't eaten dinner because I just don't want to cook anything, which is where Factor comes in. Factor is going to get you through those busy days. They have no prep, no mess meals. They're sent straight to your door and you just heat them up. Factor has 35 different delicious meals that you can choose from every week and 60 additional convenience options to add to your mix-up, like keto cookies, pressed juices, smoothies. The smoothies are my go-to breakfast item. I hate waking up early, so if I can grab a smoothie as I run out the door, it starts me off on the right foot. And Factor's meals are actually chef prepared and dietitian approved. So head to factormeals.com/FKS50 and use code FKS50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code FKS50 at factormeals.com/FKS50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Links in the description.
Number 4. I'm going to hold it up like this. Number 4.
Hello, FKS crew. I'm a longtime listener and I've always wanted to hear my write-in read.
It's your lucky day.
My boyfriend and I have been dating for about 7 months, although that is not a long time at all. This is truly one of the healthiest and positive relationships that I've been in. We've always been long distance, but 3 months ago, I moved out of the country to teach abroad, and I'm now on the other side of the earth, 13 hours ahead of my partner and my family. Initially, it was rough, but I'm getting used to this transition. My boyfriend and I have been trying to adjust in order to maintain our relationship, but I constantly feel like I am the one doing more. My boyfriend does not yet have his career finalized like I do, or is as financially stable as me. I am fine with it and I understand, but I feel like this causes an unbalanced relationship at times. For example, he will say he is going to do something for me, but does not always follow through, or he will prioritize other things like work, studying, etc., as well as other people before me, whereas he is one of my number one priorities. I will drop everything just to talk to him most times because I know our time to talk is limited because of our time difference, whereas he will not. Sometimes it does hurt, and I have had conversations with him about following through with his word, and he will apologize and basically explain why he didn't, but he never goes back to correct the situation. I guess I'm just asking, are these red flags? Is this something that I will just have to accept in our relationship, or can this be fixed? These issues have led to disappointment and hurt, and sometimes I don't think he understands how it affects me. I do have an anxious attachment style and abandonment issues that I'm working through in therapy, so sometimes I wonder if I'm blowing things out of proportion. Am I expecting too much from him while he is trying to get his life on track? We are 23 and 25, so we know we have plenty of time for that, and it's not very common for a 25-year-old man to be an expert in all areas of his life: work, life, money, relationships. Any advice is greatly appreciated.
You know, when you're getting in a relationship and you're at 7 months, you are still minimum. I always say the magic number is 12 months before you even get to know somebody, even begin to get to know them, because everything's the infatuation period, and you are 3 months together and now 3 months really not together, or 4 months not together. It's there's a lot of expectation you're kind of putting in this thing, but you guys just got to relax and just see what it is when you're together. And if it's not jiving, he's not, you find out that he's not answering the model that you want for this relationship, then you may just find that he's not the right relationship. It's got to happen naturally. You guys got to let this thing really see where you guys are in a natural thing without forcing any issues and not putting any demands. And if it's not the right guy, he's not the right guy.
I mean, I really admire people in long distance relationships because I could never do it. Mm-hmm. I don't, especially with a time difference like that. When I end up in London or Germany and Morgan's still here, it's impossible to communicate. Someone really has to sacrifice sleep or something to make it work. Mm-hmm. And it's really tough because a lot of times when you need your partner is in the moment. if you experience something or if you need to tell them something, whether it's excitement, sadness, or, you want your teammate there. And that's pretty difficult if they're always in the middle of the night sleeping. I mean, yeah, you could turn your ringer on and have them in your favorites and it still goes through. But what quality of conversation or relationship are we talking when that's always the case?
When you're half in the bag, you're
so it's
sleeping.
just, yeah, I think they said we've always been long distance, not necessarily that this move made it
Really
long distance. But if we've always been long distance, then that's great if it works for you. But from my perspective, we don't have a lot of data to make any judgment on right now because our physical time together, and not even time together necessarily, but even on the phone or our interactions, we don't have a relationship that's built on much data here. So it's really hard to start having expectations and start kind of crafting what this relationship is in the long term because it's been so short. And yeah, a lot of time has passed. 7 months, it's a decent chunk of time, but it's not the same 7 months that we had when we started, where we're seeing each other every weekend and throughout the week. It's
not like, different in its own ways. It doesn't mean it's any less positive or real though. But I feel like 7 months is a decent amount of time to establish like, hey, can you talk to me?
Mm-hmm.
I would appreciate, more consistent communication. You're my number one priority. I don't feel like I'm yours, blah, 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 blah. The problem I have is like you've had these conversations and nothing ever changes, which leads me to believe this is how it will be going forward.
I don't see this as a relationship where you guys have got to experience life together, where unfortunately you can't go bowling and laugh together. You can't go.
They do see each other though. It's not like they're.
I haven't heard where they really see each other.
I mean, they've got it. You got to see each other at some point. You can only, unless you want to be pen pals forever, like they do probably meet up. A lot of people make long distance work.
But this is right early on, and there are things that she is requiring and she's asking for that they haven't, that connection, I don't even know if it's really there yet. It might be, it doesn't sound healthy to me.
I don't think this lack of communication and lack of respect is healthy. No, I would have a very stern moment where, hey, it's time to communicate better with me. Otherwise, we can't go on like this.
I mean, they could be friends. I mean, I would say, hey, we can talk, we can communicate and reach out as friends. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think that it would be nice if they could actually get to the same point where they can be together. That should be a focus, or they should not consider themselves a relationship. They should go out and explore other people and enjoy evenings with other people. And they can communicate as friends because it doesn't really sound that they're being fulfilled.
Yeah, ideal outcome, either for him to just really understand me and my needs in our relationship and learn how to be consistent, or for me to be okay with him not being the partner that I need and want in this season while finding a way to give him grace and not hold negative things against him. Additional info, we both fully know and agree that our end goal is marriage. But that line, the or for me to be okay with him not being the partner that I need and want in this season. Why are you settling? Why are you okay not having your emotional needs met? It's not hard to talk on a phone somewhat consistently. Yes, the time difference sucks. Is that an added layer? Yes. But if you can't do it, let's be done. Maybe there's someone in this new place you're living that's going to give you the time and energy that you deserve and need. You shouldn't have to settle, though. No one has to settle.
I just don't see how you can have a full-on commitment with somebody like this and say it's a monogamous commitment when you're too young into it.
Yeah, I mean, 7 months you're at the point where things really start getting real. I feel like for me, I've always kind of heard and said it takes like 9 months to really know someone. But if this is it, like he is still figuring out life. Like, is his plan to move to be with you? Because if not, and you have to do this long term, that's not worth it.
Be curious to know what those conversations are like.
Yeah. Who's moving? Is he moving to you? Are you moving back? Like, how's it playing out? And, you know, maybe he doesn't know today, but 6 months from now, if he still doesn't know, that's not fun.
How old is she?
23, and he is 25.
Yeah, these are valuable years for you. So, I mean, I'm not telling you not to, you know, communicate with him, not be friends with him. I think that you just have to keep the door open right now for whatever's out there, because it's too iffy at this point.
You're just not getting the love and time
you
deserve.
And you need interaction. You obviously like to be able to communicate with somebody that will be there to communicate with you. So I say, you know, open the door to have other friends in this period and see what just naturally happens. I've always said relationships have to happen organically. You can't press them. You can't push them. You can't make them. Let it happen organically. If it's natural and it works, great. If it's not natural and it doesn't work, you already know.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
No.
Okay, moving along.
We're going to go on to number 5.
Another one of this week's partners is iHerb. We just got done with our last 3 tour shows, and before I left, I made sure to stock up on all the immune support I could get. 1, it's flu and cold season. We're traveling, we're meeting a lot of people, and I just don't want to get sick, which is why I love iHerb. They have the best curated selection of wellness products at the best possible value. And any category you could be looking for, whether it's supplements, sports medicine, groceries, and beauty. Yeah, I could even get my face wash from them. But my favorite part, they do not allow third-party resellers on its website or mobile app. So unlike a lot of the other guys out there, you're going to get products from the manufacturer. They're not going to be expired. They're going to be high quality. And they have over 50,000 products, so I'm sure whatever you're looking for, they're going to have it for you. So if you're ready to try it for yourself, our listeners get 22% off their first order when you use code FKS at iherb.com/shop/FKS. Existing customers receive 15% off. That's 22% off your first order at iherb.com/shop/FKS. Use promo code FKS. Choose iHerb because wellness matters. What number?
5.
Yeah, number 5, our last one for tonight, but we have at least 2 stories from this that are heading over to Patreon.
Oh, the backyard.
But this last one.
By the way, the backyard, we're not going to do barbecue. We're going to have ice cream.
I can get behind an ice cream pizza party.
We're going to do all
the lactose that my body does not need, but I'm down.
We'll just do another round of gingers.
We got dairy-free ice cream at home. That's where we're headed. Yeah.
Is that the stuff I got you?
Oh, yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jerry, Morgan, and Justin. I just want to say I'm a big fan of THT and FKS. I look forward to each and every episode. Anyways, here's my dilemma. In 2021, I became really good friends with a girl at work. We had so much in common. We both like horror movies, emo punk music, going to concerts, or even staying at home and doing girls' nights painting. I was so happy that I finally found a friend that I just clicked with. Being 30, it's hard to find friends with similar interests. The only bad thing about her is her fiancé. He's the type of guy that loves to hear himself talk. On the day that me and my fiancé got engaged, my friend was so happy, she FaceTimed me. Her fiancé was on the FaceTime too. And after the FaceTime call, her fiancé literally sent me a video of their proposal. I had already seen it and congratulated them 3 months prior. Him sending me that video on the day that I got engaged was just a red flag I couldn't ignore. From there, he just gave me the ick. Well, there was an incident in September of 2023. We were watching scary movies at her house, just having a girls' night in. I'd set my purse on the kitchen table, and without asking, her fiancé moved it onto their dog's crate. My purse had fringe that was 8 to 10 inches long on the bottom, so it went through and into the dog's crate. I got upset and hate to say it, but I slammed my purse back on the kitchen table and I looked him in the eyes because I was pissed. I told him not to touch my stuff without asking. He then started to cuss me out, telling me that I disrespected him in his house and to get the fuck out. He kept yelling and cussing at me nonstop. I thought he was joking, but realized he wasn't, as his eyes were bulging out. It was terrifying. My friend told us to stop arguing because I started to stick up for myself, and after that, things just got quiet. I felt uncomfortable, so I decided to leave. Me and my friend stepped out onto her porch, and I asked her if she was okay. She said he never yells like that, and she doesn't know why he did, and that it was unacceptable/uncalled for. She told me not to worry. I went home. 1 week went by. I still hadn't reached out to her because I was still in shock. I felt bad, but I used to be in a verbally abusive relationship, and that just brought back so many things. She tried reaching out to me via text after a week, but I didn't know what to say. I responded to her text after a few days, pouring out my feelings about the incident and my worry for her. She told me not to worry. To be honest, I felt like she was just covering it up, and there was more going on, but I didn't say anything. Another week goes by, and we still hadn't talked after those couple of texts. She finally texted me saying that she just wanted to focus on her family. She was pregnant at the time, and that there were things that I could have apologized for too. I was shook. Since then, we have talked more, and now things are just surface level. Like, hey, how are you? I've been good, just here at home with baby. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm planning my wedding, and I don't know if I should invite her to my bridal shower/wedding. I'm having a very intimate and small wedding, so only close family and friends. I don't even know if I'm invited to her wedding. I don't know what to do. She was my best friend, and now things are weird. Ideal outcome, that we become really good friends again. I'm invited to her wedding, and she's invited to mine. Additional info, she keeps her feelings to herself, and she's really bad about communicating in friendships and relationships. You never really know what she's thinking. She is a stay-at-home mom now. She had her baby this year.
So this is an interesting issue because there's a communication barrier. Obviously, your purse that was on his table caused him an issue where he wanted to get it off his table. I can't answer why, but he moved it.
Yeah.
So he may have done it wrong by not saying to you, gee, could you mind moving your purse? Who knows what he was triggered for? Maybe he just said, I just got to get this thing off of here and she'll be fine with it over here. But the misunderstanding is A, he didn't want it there, and the way that he moved it was inappropriate. It's certainly inappropriate for you because it triggered you when you saw the fringe going into the dog's cage where the dog can
chew on it
Recipe and destroy it.
Disaster.
And you were pissed and triggered at that point in time. So there's a mutual trigger that was going on here for no success because no one communicated. So I think that when she said, gee, you might have had some things to apologize for too, maybe that's something that you want to just sit back and look at the play and say, you know something, maybe I could apologize for not really, by saying, I'm sorry I put it on the table. Obviously you didn't want it there. Where would you like me to put it? And then I know you'd like to shove it up his ass, but maybe you can find a way to have peace and just be a person that can communicate better and just get through it. Obviously this caused a stress within your relationship, and your friend is caught in the middle of the whole thing because I'm sure she wants to be a friend of yours. And I'm sure she's getting, he said, God damn it, she put that dirty purse on that table, and I eat on that table. Who knows what went on? And I'm not saying that the abuse that he gave you was
unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. We don't believe in abuse. And if she chose to live in that relationship, that's her gig. But the answer is that I think you should still look at how it went from the table to the dog thing and say, you know, something, maybe he really didn't want it there. And maybe I should have thought I could think that one through. And maybe that will patch it up where you can get back to have a relationship with her and just stay clear of him.
I would stay far away from him.
I mean, I've lost friends to partners who come in and maybe nothing direct happened like this, but they kind of sink their claws in and change the person you knew into someone that is very distant, and things between you change and you don't really hang out as often, and the whole dynamic is shifted. And it's really scary how someone can come in and change someone like that.
Right.
And then you and their relationship kind of forever has that stain on it. I mean, you can work past it. A lot of times they end up breaking up with the person. They're like, you know what, sorry, like this happened and whatever. And then you kind of build back to that normal. But it happens all too often where a partner will change someone. And I think for you right now, it's, you know, it's tough to go in and I sit down and say, I want to have what we used to have and this and that. You're caught somewhere between that and kind of just coasting along and seeing what happens. Because you don't have power to go in and be like, you need to break up with them. They're this and that. So
Not her place to do.
So it's the balance of being in it or not and walking that fine line.
The one thing that really did happen that she did say is she did tell her girlfriend that she was in an abusive relationship and it triggered her.
Yeah.
She didn't say that?
Oh.
I don't know if she necessarily told the friend that.
Or if she's telling us.
Or if she's just telling us that. But her alarm bells were ringing.
Yeah.
My alarm bells are ringing. I'm looking at this, and you have a guy who obviously can blow off the handle. He's controlling because moving someone's purse is weird. It does feel like a subtle control thing.
Yeah, he could have easily have said to her,
hey, can you move your purse somewhere else off the table? You know, there's a coat rack, or hey, maybe the counter, the island, wherever, somewhere.
So your assessment of the control factor is real. I agree with that.
I'm just getting some bad juju, red vibes, red flags, bad vibes. And I think there's a lot of other things too. He made your engagement about him. So he's maybe super self-centered. Maybe there's something there. But I also look at this as, you know, he's not good. You know, he can blow off the handle. You have your friend who was pregnant. And we do know that sometimes people can change. Abusers especially can change once their victim is locked in. She's now a stay-at-home mom. She's probably very secluded from friends. Maybe he stirred the pot to get you out of the picture. I'm just getting really uncomfortable with the thought that he has his victim and he's succeeded in separating her from people that care.
Yeah.
So if you care about this friendship, which I think you do, I would say be the bigger person, start reaching out more, take her to lunch, get her out of the house, bring the baby with, whatever you got to do. But if you care about this person and this friendship, it might be on you to really extend the olive branch. If you got to apologize to him, hey, let's let bygones be bygones. I'm really sorry for, how things played out the last time. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say.
And avoid attacking him to her, because it's a battle you lose 9 times out of 10.
Absolutely.
Where you will be the one being shut out.
And you want her to know that she has a safe space with you. You're her friend. She's going to be with that guy. That's fine. But you don't want to hang out with him. So make it clear that you love her, you care about her, and extend the branch and start hanging out. Get her out of the house.
I have canvas at home. Come on over and paint.
Yeah, bring the baby.
Yeah, friendships can survive these things.
Let's
absolutely.
Let's bake some cookies, and I have canvas and I have paint. Let's go at it.
I mean, I've had friends in the past. I think their partners puke. They're still with that person, and our friendship is fine. Yeah. So I think you can work around it. And then you know that she's got you in her corner at least.
Yep.
I agree. So that's it, folks.
That's it.
That's it for this episode of Father Knows Something. But we are going to go to the backyard.
Head to the backyard.
And I wish we had the ice cream here that we can share
I know,
with
it
you.
sounds so good. But again, everyone, please keep us posted and keep us updated with the Google form. Listeners, we had some really tough, intense stories today.
Mm-hmm.
Please comment if you feel that you have any insight, whether you yourself have been in it, you've got a friend in it. Please comment. We really, really need the help on these. We're just 3 people sitting on a couch. You only got one over there with a dad degree. I mean, we can't handle it all. We need your help, you guys. So please chime in.
We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.